With the establishment of city gas and electricity, Pera became the glittering centre of European lifestyle in Istanbul. The Cite de Pera was to be the Ottoman Empire's best, a monument that even Paris would be proud of. The site can be described as a miniature version of the famous Galleria in Milan in Italy. The site was originally occupied by the Naum Theatre, which was burnt down during the Great Fire of Pera in 1870. The theatre was frequently visited by Sultans Abdulaziz and Abdulhamid II and hosted Giuseppe Verdi's play Il Trovatore before the opera houses of Paris. In 1908, the Cite de Pera was called Cite Pazari because the building was purchased by the Grand Vizier Cite Paza. In the early 20s, the passageway hosted white Russian women selling flowers. They were the noble Russians exiled from Russia after the revolution in 1917. Starting from the 1940s, more and more pubs, wine houses and taverns opened their doors in the Cite Pazari, which gradually made the florists and residents of the flats move out. In 1980, all of a sudden, a great part of the building suddenly collapsed and it was closed. Luckily, the Art Deco windows and part of the ceiling have survived the collapse and can be admired today. There are plenty of wonderful flowers depicted in the windows and staircases. The building underwent major renovation in 1988 and reopened with its L-shaped, cobblestone-laden path, picturesque and enchanting atmosphere with rows of taverns and restaurants. In 2005, the roof and all the other visual parts were restored. Next to the flower market is Balik Pazari, which means fish market, an ideal place to try traditional Turkish food. The grand covered bazaar, Balik Pazari, houses underneath its canopies the finest fish that Turkey has to offer, along with exotic spices, fruits, vegetables, and even jewelry. Over the centuries, while people lived on the shores of the Bosphorus, dozens of world cuisines have met here. Greek olive oil and Roman baking, Slavic honey and Arabic sweets, Persian cheese, Seljuk meat products, and Ottoman dishes. This mix gave rise to one of the 3 best cuisines in the world, Turkish cuisine. This fish market is a wild passageway full of small fast food eateries, fresh vegetable market stalls, a sprinkling of other shops, and thronging with passers-by. Heavily scented by wafting spices and sizzling mussels and other fish, blazing in colour and displaying a curious accumulation of foodstuffs, make it altogether an interesting walk. Nevizade is a small street parallel to Istiklal Avenue, located behind the historical Flower Passage and easily accessible via the Fish Bazaar. It's a whole street spilling over with tables, dedicating itself lovingly to the business of the meyhane or tavern, in a world of its own. The narrow passage is full to the brim with cafes, bars and meyhanes. A meyhane is a Turkish tavern which evolved through the country's centuries-long proximity to Greek culture. A night out at one basically involves the marathon consumption of the trademark anise-flavoured tipple raki,